This video approaches George Orwell's 1984 not merely as a dystopia, but as a story about how the human mind is taken under control. This is not a book summary. This is the story of how thinking itself becomes a crime. Mornings in Oceania are not silent. Even silence is controlled. Screens on the walls speak, posters in the streets stare. Even the inside of homes does not belong to people. Big Brother is watching you. This is not a threat. This is not even a warning. This is the system's core assumption. You are being watched always. In Oceania, being alone does not exist. A person is not alone even inside their own minds, because thought is suppressed before it is even born. Winston Smith is 39 years old, thin, faded, easily forgotten. Exactly the kind of person the system prefers. He is not a hero, not a leader. He does not look dangerous, but danger is never what is visible. Winston's task is not to change the world. His task is to change the past. He works at the Ministry of Truth. But what is produced, there is not truth. More precisely, there is no truth left. Newspapers arrive. What the party said yesterday contradicts what it says today. Winston takes his pen, change a word, delays a date, erases a name, and yesterday never happened. This is where the real horror begins, because after a while Winston realizes this. The past is no longer something remembered. The past is something written. And if the party writes the past, does truth even exist? Orwell touches something extremely dangerous here. If the past does not exist, the human self does not exist either. Because a person knows who they are by remembering where they came from, the party knows this. That is why it targets memory. That is why it does not eliminate contradictions, but stacks them on top of each other. The party is at war and at peace at the same time. There is poverty and abundance at the same time. This is not a mistake. This is a deliberate collapse. This is called doublethink, believing two opposite things at once and questioning neither. Winston's real crime has not been committed as an action. His crime begins inside his mind. One day, he buys a notebook. This alone is forbidden, because a notebook means personal memory. He starts to write a simple sentence, that to Big Brother. With this sentence, Winston does not just write a thought, he burns himself. Because in 1984, the greatest crime is not rebellion. The greatest crime is thinking. The party does not want obedience. Obedience is not enough. The party wants belief. It wants love. Fear is temporary. Belief is permanent. That is why language is reduced. In the new language called Newspeak, words are eliminated. With every new edition, there are fewer words. Because if there is no word to express a thought, that thought slowly disappears. The word freedom is erased. The word rebellion is erased. The word justice is emptied of meaning. Orwell says this: as language shrinks, the mind shrinks with it. And after a certain point, people fall silent, not because they cannot think, but because they cannot find the words to think. Winston is alone, but this loneliness is not a choice. It is the natural state of the world. People do not get close to each other. Closeness is suspicious. Intimacy is dangerous. Until he notices Julia. At first, Julia looks like an enemy. Loyal to the party, young, energetic. Winston thinks he hates her, but this hatred is actually fear. Because Julia resembles a life that has not yet been fully shaped. One day, Julia secretly hands Winston a note. I love you. For Winston, this sentence is just as dangerous as that to Big Brother. Because it contains everything the system tries to destroy. Individuality, closeness, choice. Winston and Julia meet in the countryside. Nature is the only place the party has not fully controlled yet. Julia does not chant slogans. She does not write manifestos. She does not build theories. Julia wants to live. She wants to love. She wants to touch. And this is an unforgivable crime for the party. Because the party's greatest enemy is not anger. Anger can be directed. The party's greatest enemy is pleasure. Pleasure cannot be controlled. Pleasure does not fit into ideology. Winston wants to think, Julia wants to live. Both are dangerous. They are meet in secret. When they are together, the world stops for a moment. But this freedom is not real. It is only a delayed capture. Because they are being watched, they have always been watched. When O'Brien appears, Winston feels hope. O'Brien is intelligent, calm, deep, inside the system but seemingly different. Winston believes he thinks too, that he doubts as well. This is Winston's final illusion. O'Brien is not a rebel. He is the system itself. They are arrested. Love instantly loses meaning because fear erases everything. The torture begins. But this torture is not for the body. It is for the mind. O'Brien does not shout. He does not threaten. He convinces. What is truth, Winston? Winston answers. What we see? O'Brien smiles. No. Truth is what the party says it is. What is 2 plus 2? Winston says 4. The pain increases. If we say it is 5, what is it? Winston resists. The pain is stronger than thought. At some point, Winston says 5, but inside, he still thinks it is 4. This is not enough. The party does not want obedience. It wants inner surrender. O'Brien takes Winston to the final room. Room 101. Everyone's greatest fear is kept here. Winston's fear is rats, and fear destroys everything a person loves. He betrays Julia. He screams. He begs. Do it to her, not to me. At that moment, Winston ends. When he is released, the old Winston no longer exists. He sits in a cafe, stares at the screen. Big Brother's face appears. Something happens inside Winston. This is not relief. This is not salvation. This is emptiness. And inside that emptiness, a feeling rises. Love. Winston loves Big Brother. 1984 does not tell us this system is evil. It asks, if a human loses truth, how much of themselves can they protect? And the answer is clear. If there is no truth, there is no freedom. If there is no thought, there is no human. 1984 is not a story about the future. That is why it is terrifying. It is the story of how easily humans can be rewritten. If this video stayed with you somewhere, if even a single sentence made you stop and think, if it made you feel that you are not alone. To keep these kinds of videos coming, liking the video, leaving your thoughts in the comments, and sharing it is enough for us to continue this journey together. If you don't want to miss these moments of confrontation, subscribe. Because this place is for those who can't run away from themselves. If you are here, it means we are asking the same questions. You can also follow me on my social media accounts. Take very good care of yourself. See you.